Well, greetings everybody from warm and sunny Arizona. Another beautiful day out here. I'm going to adjust this thing a little bit for you. I'm sitting in a big rock right in front of the view screen so I can get a sense of what's going on here. At any rate, welcome to our next week in our course. I have just received your declarations of your choices for your term paper project options. Thanks everybody for sending them in, and I appreciate that very much. I want to take a few moments here to kind of give you some further guidance on what to be doing, especially with respect to the term paper project and how it might tie into helping you to study and prepare effectively for the tests that you're facing this semester, which of course is a big part of how your course grade is determined. So having said as much, let me just comment that like most other semesters where I have offered this kind of an option to the term paper project idea, most of you in fact have chosen the day in my life option, and I want to speak especially to that one. But I'll start out by mentioning also that a couple folks seem to have an interest in the traditional research paper, and others have declared an interest in movies and literature. So I'll start with them, since there's a fairly small number of folks in either option number 1 or option number 3 or option number 4. Of course, the thing to keep in mind about option number 1 is that it is limited in length to 1,000 words, which means that you're going to want to be very, very careful in terms of choosing your verbiage very judiciously so as not to exceed that limit. The bulk of that assignment really deals with your review of what we call the peer-reviewed literature. So again, you'll want to be very, very careful when you cite your evidence that it does in fact come from peer-reviewed literature. Now that means specifically not Wikipedia. It also means not things like newspapers or magazines or anything of that sort. These are pieces of literature that have been subjected to close scrutiny for validation of what has been found and criticism of the approach that's been taken and all the rest of it. Overwhelmingly, you're going to be wanting to look for pieces of literature that report upon empirical research. That is to say, persons in the field have identified research questions and topics that are related to the topic of your paper, and they have actually gone out and conducted research and gathered data, evaluated and analyzed those data, and drawn conclusions with regard to the research that they are conducting. So you want to tap into that kind of work for your option number 1. Options number 3 and 4 serve some similarities in the sense that you're going to be getting into a point of view, if you will, of major characters and scenarios either in literature or in film. Now both of those options, you're going to want to demonstrate as much as you can your ability to apply the conceptual and theoretical framework of this course as you examine what it is that is transpiring either fictively through your reading or observationally in the movie itself. So again, this is an exercise in what the sociologist Max Weber would have called Verstehen, V-E-R-S-T-E-H-E-N. The ability literally to step into other person's shoes and to understand their reality from their point of view. Again, in literature it would be fictive. Well, it's also fictive in terms of films. It's not that. It's just that in films you have the opportunity to actually visually see what your main character or category or group is actually going through. You don't have to so much imagine it. You actually have visual evidence. So once again, you'll demonstrate your mastery of the concepts and theories by the extent to which you are able to apply the concepts and the theories. Which brings me to option number 2, the day in my life option. It's the same kind of idea, except here the point of reference is yourself. Now my recommendation would be that as you read your material, as you study and prepare each of the topics that you're studying in our course, you review your 24-hour log and ask yourself, what can I apply that I have seen in the context of my 24-hour log? Again, this paper is evaluated on its extensiveness, so you want to do that as much as you possibly can. A couple of ways to go about doing this. Certainly one is descriptively. Can you recognize it when you see it, so to speak? So for example, if you were to choose the concept of achieved social status, certainly there will be examples in your 24-hour log where either you or others with whom you interact are occupying an achieved social status. So you'd want to define that idea, and then you would want to talk about what you see in the evidence that is briefly hinted at in your 24-hour log, to explain in greater detail what it is in the scenario or the context of what you are experiencing that demonstrates that in fact is a concept that lies behind the scenes of what you are experiencing. So in this case, it's not Verstehen, because you're not looking at literature or movies, rather you're looking at your own experience. Again, extensiveness is the key here. My recommendation, as I say, would be to get your 24-hour log out of the way as soon as possible, and then as you go through each of these chapters on your way to taking a test over the block of material, literally do a check-off of all the kinds of concepts and theories that you've encountered, asking yourself the question, could I apply this to what has happened in my life as indicated by the 24-hour log? If so, tap into it and speak to it in the narrative that you are developing. Now, one final point. Note that I have said the 24-hour log is indicative. It is the baseline on which you are basing what you are writing and reporting. It is not the end product of your paper. It's just your starting point. It means it's the thing to which you refer when you are applying these concepts and these theories. So I hope that will get you going, and I hope that whether you do this in option number 2 or whether you take the same approach with regard to options 3 and 4, wouldn't be so much applicable to option 1. This will be a helpful way for you to, if you will, make real the concepts and the theories that you are encountering in this course. After all, it is those kinds of things which will be tested on your examinations, and it's your awareness and ability to employ and use those things analytically and interpretively that will be measures of what will ultimately be regarded as your mastery of the course. So I hope this little overview has been helpful for you. For the moment, I'm going to sign off once again from warm and sunny Arizona, and I look forward to chatting with you at another occasion. Bye-bye for now.